Once upon a time, in a faraway land called Washington Heights.
Oh, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Okay, we'll jump right into it. So the movie is all about celebrating your differences. So how does that relate to all of you? Who wants to go first? Corey, maybe?
Yeah, this film is about celebrating our differences, but I think it's also about celebrating what we share as well, all of our commonalities. Like, and that's the thing. Like this film sort of lifts and brings to the forefront Latinx culture. But I also, as a American descendant of slavery, like I see myself within that in that canon as well, and so. It's just incredible, like to be able to be a part of a film that kind of brings us all together, especially right now where we all feel so separated and so in our own little cocoons. It just feels like the perfect moment for it.
What we need.
Yeah, definitely. Leslie, what do you think?
I felt so seen throughout the entire experience of making this. And I know I speak for all of us when I say that I had never seen anything on screen that looked like people that I like really, really looked like people that I know at this scale, like their story being told at this scale. And definitely had never, this is my first film. So I had never read even sides that felt so much like myself. And so I feel so blessed to have experienced the beauty of what happens when people that are telling their stories, the stories that they feel like belong to them, and are telling them with authenticity, what that feels like. It feels completely different, and I want to see more of it.
Yeah, definitely. And congrats on the fact that it's your first film. That's amazing. Melissa, what do you think?
I think it's a story. It's the message of the movie is one of community. It's more about celebrating what makes us unique, but also finding what binds us together and everything that we have in common. And I think a lot of people that watch the movie are gonna come out, and if you're Latinx, then it's gonna, ring true, and you're gonna see yourself very clearly. But even if you're not, I feel like you're gonna find that we have so much more in common than we have differences. We all share the same yearnings to belong, to find love, to find a home, to feel safe, and to make our dreams come true. So I feel like it's a beautiful message to bring out into the world right now. And I hope that people receive it with open hearts and feel all the love that we poured into it.
Ice cold piragua, cherry, strawberry, and just for today, I got my mate.
So a lot of people were speculating that you were growing out your hair because you were going to reprise your role in Hamilton. So do you know how many people's dreams you're crushing with that haircut?
It was my pandemic hair, and my wife likes it long, but it's also summer, so I was happy to cut it. Listen, I am as busy as I've ever been in my life. When I am not talking to you, I am finishing the music for Disney's Encanto, which comes out around Thanksgiving, and editing Tick Tick Boom, which also comes out at the end of this year. So there was no way I could jump in, as much as I love performing the show.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, but it looks good regardless, the hair.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so you were able to do so much that you couldn't do on stage with the film In the Heights. Is there something that you would love to see from Hamilton portrayed on film that you can't do with the production on stage?
I don't know. I really like Hamilton's about as good as it gets in terms of a stage to movie adaptation. I think Tommy Kail did such a brilliant job of capturing the thing we spent 6 years making together and making it feel like a cinematic experience. Remember, this is all happening backwards. In another timeline, the pandemic never happened. In the Heights came out last summer, and Hamilton is coming out theatrically in October of this year. That was the original timeline. But that being said, I think one of the reasons Hamilton moves the way it does is that I write cinematically. I'm not picturing what the onstage version of my shot is. I was picturing Hamilton in the streets with his friends, passing out pamphlets. And then it's Tommy and Andy's job to sort of stage that. And I think that's one of the reasons it's as kinetic as it is I'm not thinking practically.
Is the movie more enjoyable because of the strong message that comes with it?
I'd say so. I'd say so. Yes, because I think this is what everyone is yearning for. Like we are yearning to, Corey said earlier, to connect. Like we're yearning to also see celebration through the strife. Like we always get to see, especially in movies about communities of color and where we see people of color on screen. If it gets to be a huge film, like it's usually about the struggle and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
And here we get to see, we don't completely exclude it. You get to see these people hustle and you get to see them work for and pursue their dreams and like face their obstacle, but you also get to see the celebration through this blackout. You get to see the celebration and how they're propelled to celebrate life all the more when Abuela Claudia passes away and their
Yes.
matriarch dies. So it's like, that's what life is about, you know, like that's real life. And I think a lot of people will relate to that.
Here, Washington Heights.
What is the one thing that you hope people take away most from the film?
Oh, I hope people feel the sense of community because it is as real as it feels in terms of our company and the way in which we were able to be neighbors to Washington Heights in the month and a half that we spent there, filming on location, writing a love letter to the neighborhood that we're living in. But that sense of community and home, and you know, home is a loaded word for people sometimes. I think, you know, there's the Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home, very like Hallmark version. But I think the thing that we explore in Heights is, you know, sometimes home is a place to run away from. Sometimes home is not what you think it is. And sometimes it's the family you create more than the family you're born with. And so they're all variations on that theme.